What is up, my fellow dragons, and welcome back to the Plants vs Zombies 2 Elemental Challenge Part 3. If you've never played the game, Plants vs Zombies is a game where you defeat worlds with different zombies, using your plants to get a taco for Crazy Dave, who is our neighbor, which is an insane favor to do for a neighbor. To kill these zombies, you have to plant plants that have varying abilities by using sun that falls from the sky, and even using plants to produce it for you. Now, if you don't know how the challenge works, I'll give you a rundown on the challenge. The rules are that we use plants surrounding the elements fire, ice, water, and air. This includes plants that have features that are similar enough to these elements to count. The rest of the rules include that we can't upgrade plants. We play conveyor belts and the given plant level to normal. We can only use power-ups once. Some producers are allowed in sun producing levels, and pre-planted plants are allowed, and we won't lose the challenge. Well, Dragon, why might you be doing this? Great question. And it was because in a conversation with a friend about the challenge,
I don't know, it sounds pretty hard that you do it.
He said it was too difficult to beat. I'm going to use this challenge to prove the doubters wrong, but let's get into the first world of the video, which is the far future. Starting us off in the far future, which as you guessed, is a world that has been infected by zombies in the future. We found that we were in luck with this challenge because we found another world with blessed tiles. Last time, in the Lost City, it was the tiles that give you sun, and now it's the tiles that allow you to use multiple plant powers at once. This means that we have at least double the powers happening at the same time. In day 2, they introduced a technological shield wall zombie. Luckily, I came prepared and used my lightning reeds to go past their shields and kill them anyway. After beating day 3, we unlocked the blower, which blows away all aerial zombies, which in the far future case will be the jetpack zombies. On day 5, they introduced another robot zombie. This zombie is very tanky and uses its mechanical arms to kill your plants quite quickly. Like the other robot, however, this was not very hard to put down. Using the power tiles combined with the almighty Thor plant, which is the lightning reed, we found the far future to be unbelievably easy. Day 10 introduced a robot that was actually quite annoying, and it is this huge grenade looking zombie. This zombie sends down afro jetpack zombies, and it was honestly pretty annoying to have to spam tons of blowers. Honestly though, I felt pretty unbeatable in this world due to the power tiles and the blowers that easily boost your KD when it comes to jetpack zombies. On day 15, I had a little bit of trouble because the endangered plants that I had to make sure the zombies didn't kill were so close to the zombies. Eventually, with some clever stalling and thinking, we managed to beat this level with only 1 or 2 deaths. Most of this world was pretty free and easy, and we made our way onto day 25 after killing all of these stupid zombie robots from day 24. In the Zomboss fight, we simply used the future plants to beat him easily through sheer brute force. I was happy and filled with optimism for the next 2 worlds of this video due to such an easy world, but as I was soon to realize, things would look much less optimistic. The next world to conquer was the Dark Ages. In this world, we are in the Middle Ages, and we go through the medieval experience while battling through zombies. This world is going to be much harder, and maybe even impossible due to there being no sun that spawns from the sky. So, is it impossible, and has the challenge ended? Well, luckily for me, someone who commented had a pretty good idea of using a sun producer only for this world, so I picked the sun shroom, but we still had to make sure we played the rest of the challenge normal. In night 1, we had a rough start with killing the zombies due to the annoying tombstones blocking everything in their path. In the end though, we had a very strong defense and beat out the zombies. After beating night 2, we unlocked the puff shroom, and since it shoots spores which are literally only airborne and infect through the air, we count this as an air plant. This puff shroom will be helpful because it costs 0 sun and it has a fast recharge, so it means we won't need any sun to use it for later. In night 4, we experienced one of the most satisfying things to achieve in Plants vs Zombies 2. It is to have a gargantua fight for it. In the end, we had a whole army of them, and I could tell the zombies were spooked out of their minds. On night 5, we encountered a zombie that is considered by the majority of the community to be an absolute demon in runs like these, which is the Jester zombie. This zombie doesn't get hit by projectiles like peas, but instead starts spinning around, which deflects them back at you, and also turns into an unstoppable tornado. Luckily, due to the same logic as the excavator zombie from part 2, lightning doesn't count as a projectile, so the lightning reed's lightning hits them normally and kills them easily. In night 9, there were potions that boost zombies in speed and size. By the way, If the colors in my footage look weird, it's because my capture card glitched throughout days 9 and 10, so it looks pretty weird in these levels. Even with the potions, we still cooked the zombies. On night 11, we found the wizard zombie, which is probably, if not, the most annoying zombie so far. Although there will be another contender later in the video for most annoying zombie. This zombie uses its magic to turn our plants into sheep, which makes our plants useless, and the zombies can walk straight through them. And this all lasts until the wizard is killed, and they are hard to kill because they are always at the back. Night 14 took a few tries to beat due to me not knowing how to collect enough sun to reach the goal. After a few tries, I gathered enough sun and beat the level. On night 18, we had a huge struggle to beat this level. This was due to the insane amount of wizards, jesters, and kings that increased the armor of peasant zombies by giving them very tanky night armor. After absolutely sweating like crazy over this level, I finally managed to put an end to the suffering I went through. On night 20, we had the Zomboss fight, and this time he tried to copy me and become a dragon. Nah, just kidding, I know we get knocked with that first. I'm embarrassed to say that I actually did lose 2 times to a Zomboss battle, but in the 3rd attempt I cleaned him up and it was time for the next world to conquer. The last world to take on for this part is the Neon Mixtape Tour. This world is full of pop culture zombies, and it is quite a colorful, glamorous, rhythmic, and extremely annoying world. This world has an interesting mechanic where the music that's playing affects the zombies in certain ways. If the punk music, which is the music that happens when the fire is blazing, starts playing, the zombies will move much faster and wilder. Day 1 was an easy day and we moved on with the Neon Mixtape Tour. When I mentioned the zombies moving much faster and wilder, this leads us onto the introduction of the punk zombie in Day 2, which starts boogieing like crazy when hearing punk music and kicks plants backwards. Day 2 was still an easy day, as it was the beginning of the world. On day 4, we already somehow managed to lose in a given plant level, which was definitely a bad omen for the rest of the world. Day 5 was an extremely difficult day, and it was only 5 days into the world. Using a 5 Ps, we managed to get out of this level alive and kicking though. On day 10, we were introduced to the zombie, which in my opinion is probably due to a skill issue, the most annoying zombie in the whole game. This zombie is none other than the rapper zombie, who is also known as the MC Zombie. What up, bro? This zombie uses his microphone and swings it around to one-shot your plants, and it can do this as many times as it wants. Luckily, in level 10 there weren't that many raptors, but that was about to change. In this point through the challenge, this was when I banged headfirst into a wall, and that wall is day 15. On this day, we had to protect the endangered fat beets. This level was pretty simple, and it was pretty easy to hold, until my nightmares came to reality. Tons of those MC rapper zombies who can one-shot plants instantly kill my fat beets, and this doesn't just happen once and then move on. No, this went on for way too long. I could literally make a whole montage out of my deaths on this level. After being like Kratos and begging for the gods, instead of Greek gods, it was the PvZ gods, I realized something that I had never thought of before. In PvZ2, when you're having a lot of trouble, you can use the rent a plant feature, which allows you to watch an ad and unlock a plant for free in that level. Using this, I got the Snow Pea, which allowed me to freeze the incoming zombies, and I won the level on the first try. After the insane amount of relief after beating that level, we got back to action. Day 17, they introduced the Breakdancer zombie, which can kick zombies in front of them so that they can FNAF jumpscares. Day 21 was another day that I thought would be rough, but using the Cold Snap Dragon, which I got from the Rent a Plant feature, I easily beat this level. After beating day 21, we unlocked the Spore Shroom, which counts as an air plant. Because as I mentioned before, spores travel only through air, and Spore is literally in its net. This plant spawns new versions of itself when it kills a zombie with its spores, which is key for victory, as we won't have anywhere near as many plants since we can't use sunflowers. Day 22, we were introduced to the arcade worker zombie, who pushes the arcade machine and also uses it to spawn zombies. Beating him on day 22 wasn't really that hard though. We had some difficulty on day 26 due to the overwhelming amount of arcade zombies and machines. After showing the zombies the power of the Cold Snap Dragon, we beat the level with not too much difficulty. I had some trouble on day 28 as the boombox zombies made my plants fall in love with the boombox music. After going back to the old reliable Cold Snap Dragon, we managed to beat the level, even with some close calls. Day 29 was another Cold Snap Dragon day. Day 30, we had an insane endgame clutch with the Snow Peas and the zombies next to it. And day 31 was a given plant level. Day 32 was the Zomboss battle. and we had the craziest zone boss experience so far. In this battle, he covers the stage with boomboxes, and you have to hit the central stage rapper, who is zone boss of course. In the end of this boss fight, it got the most interesting though. In the end, it was a spamming fest of gargantuas and plants that he just kept on killing. Eventually, with some clutches, we managed to beat the boss and part 3 of the challenge. In the next video, I will finish the game and do plants only. I'm gonna be quite sad that the challenge is going to end, but it's not over. It's still gonna be one hell of a battle. Thanks for watching, and click on the next video.